Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Little Guts. Today I'm going to be talking about something that is good for children of any age. Today I'm going to be talking about the best way to tell your pediatrician about behavior so you can get a referral for services. Now you might think, well, I can just tell the pediatrician, but it's not that easy. A lot of times we'll forget a behavior, we won't remember certain aspects of the behavior, we won't be able to articulate on the spot to the doctor what that behavior means to us and what we've seen. So here are the main things and main ways for you to report your concerns to your pediatrician to get a referral. Notes, and in the form of short little videos. So when I say notes, that might seem pretty simple, right? I mean, how hard can writing a note be? But you want to be really specific. You're not going to get much time with your pediatrician to explain the issues that you're talking about. You want to talk about when the behavior occurred, so what time of day, what was going on, what were the circumstances, what exactly the behavior was. So what exactly was your child doing? So did it happen on the playground? Did it happen when a child tried to approach your child? Did it happen in a new situation? Did it happen in a public place? So you want to talk about the circumstances surrounding the behavior as well and make sure you write those down. And obviously it doesn't have to be a book. It can just be a short sentence. The next thing I want you to talk about is something that I like to think of as medically relevant. So insurance companies are going to want to cover something that is medically necessary or medically relevant. So when I say medically relevant, I want you to talk about anything as far as elopement, which means like running off, because obviously that can put your child in physical danger. Also any self-injurious behavior. So if your child is picking at themselves, if your child is hitting themselves, if your child is doing any behavior that could potentially cause an injury, that's definitely something that you want to write down. So when you talk about the behavior, you want to make sure that you write down in your notes how the behavior could have affected your child's safety or well-being. What do I mean by that? In our case, for example, the behavior that I'm going to talk about was following lines. In and of itself, you think, okay, it's kind of weird that a kid is following lines on the ground, the tile lines or chair rails. But in a practical way, the way that it affected our child's safety was in Chile. We were in an airport, he followed the conveyor belt line and got lost. And we lost him for several minutes. So that was several minutes of panic. And you can see in that relevant example how it could have affected his safety, rather than me just saying, well, he's following lines on the ground. An insurance company is going to be like, well, that does suck, but it's not medically putting him at risk in any way. Self-injurious behavior. So you want to talk about a behavior where your child is either picking at himself or hurting himself in some way. Is your child banging his head into the ground? Is your child banging his head into the wall? And of course, those behaviors can occur for so many reasons, but you want to make sure that you document those. So just to recap, the two behaviors that are really medically relevant are things like elopement, which means running away, such as the example that I described, and also self-injurious behaviors. So we talked about the notes part. The last portion to documenting is video. And here's the important thing about video. Usually you only get a few minutes with your pediatrician. So you want to maximize that time to express your concerns. Your notes are great and are going to paint a picture for your doctor, but what better way than to actually show them the behavior? Now, when I say video, I want you to just make a 30-second to 1-minute video of the behavior. So the notes are kind of like a backup and a support to your video, but the video obviously will really showcase your concerns to your doctor. The third and last thing that I want to talk about is a common pitfall for us moms. As moms, we bear the emotional burden, the stress of everyday life. We take kids to activities, to school, to therapies, we cook, we clean. So we bear this huge emotional load. As a result, we tend to minimize. And that is because of stress and also because we just want everything to be okay. One thing you do not want to minimize is the behaviors that you talk about with your doctor. So you're going to tend to minimize the behaviors and the relevance and severity of the behaviors. I was someone that did this, and it is not beneficial. Your doctor is only going to know what you tell them and is only going to know what's in your notes and in the videos that you show them. Any time you minimize could be a service that you could potentially lose for your child. So make sure you focus on the medically relevant issues. Minimizing is not going to make the issues go away. So let's recap, right? This video is about documenting. Documenting a behavior and a symptom or a concern so that you can explain it to your doctor to get a referral. Let's recap the things that we went over. You're gonna make notes. And when I say notes, you're gonna talk about the time of day something happened, how it affected your child, and how it medically could have affected their safety or well-being. So don't minimize. It is so important. I cannot stress it enough. And as always, you know, you're the parent, you're the mom. You know if there's something wrong with your child. If you bring your concerns to the doctor and your doctor brushes you off, get a second opinion. It might mean the difference between missing out on precious time that you could have helped your child. Everything is going to be okay. You are going to get the help that you need for your child. Whether it's speech therapy, occupational therapy, ABA therapy, or any other kind of therapy that you need, I want you to be able to get that referral to get your child the help that they need. Thank you so much for tuning in and for watching another episode of my blog, Little Guts. My goal is to help you on your healing journey. This video on how to document issues and present them to your doctor is going to help you jumpstart and get your child the help that they need.